Hey everyone, and welcome to the Focus on the Good Inspirational Speaker Hour. This is all about finding positivity, inspiration, and hope through any challenge. Thank you so much for those of you who are joining us live. We are going to be bringing you up in just a second. We have 5 incredible speakers for today. This is an absolutely incredible experience. I have loved doing this each and every week. So we are live here on Zoom, also live on Facebook. So I'd encourage everyone to go over to Facebook. Those of you who are on Zoom, go over to Facebook and just share this video. I'll share that in just a second on it is on my business page. That is Facebook.com/Jake Ballantyne Focus on the Good. That's Facebook.com/Jake Ballantyne Focus on the Good. So share that video that is there. And if you're watching on Facebook right now, share this video so we can get this inspirational message out there. Okay, I'm going to bring you guys up on screen right now. I'm going to bring you up on screen. Love having you guys. Oh, hey, what's going on, everyone? So good to see you. Exciting to be here. I'm very excited that you guys are all here. I'm going to start bringing you guys up on camera, and this is really all about you being our live studio audience. You are our live studio audience. So let me bring you up. As I'm bringing you guys up, I'll just keep rambling for a little bit because, it's good to do. And as you guys are coming up, hey, Colin Ryan is here. Ada Lloyd is here. Colin, if you can pop up on camera, I would love to hear what's the good news for you as I am bringing people up on screen.
So much. It's a beautiful day. My wife is one of the speakers tonight. I am like as excited as though it was me. She's so awesome. And I'm just grateful for the ways that during COVID, I can see now that by pushing myself, I am starting to grow in new ways. And I didn't feel that a lot of the time. So I'm now feeling that, and I'm just feeling grateful for hard work slowly over time.
Wonderful. That's so exciting. So exciting. I'm going to pick on a couple other people as I'm bringing everyone up here. Elizabeth, what's the good news today? Elizabeth Gabor. Let's see, you're muted, Elizabeth.
I apologize. Hi,
no problem.
Everybody. I'm so glad I made it. I was on another Zoom right before this, an amazing, very cool group that they're like doing these fun little parties every week. It's actually this woman who run a dementia center, which is near and dear to my heart as a previous geriatric social worker. So tonight was Italy night, and so like literally. I put on my apron and my thing that I did when I was in Italy, like doing a cooking class with my family for my parents' 50th wedding anniversary. And then I brought out the book that my sister made. It was just really, really fun. So that was a good highlight of the day. And I'm just happy to be with you guys, focusing on the good. Completely.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
You.
So glad to hear that. Okay, well, we got pretty much everyone up. I know there'll be a couple people coming in at other times. I'd like to hear from everyone. Pop into the comments where you're coming from today. Pop into the comments where you're coming from today. I'd love to see everyone. Oh, Elizabeth, great hat. Liz, I love that. That's awesome. We got Chicago, we got California, we got Vermont, we have Ireland. I know it's got to be the middle of the night there. And I know Lois, one of our speakers today, was saying it's midnight where she is right now. So let's see. Well, very similar to Lois and Louise, both of you, middle of the night, burning the midnight oil. So glad that you guys are here. Okay, we're getting people from all over the place, which is super, super cool. And as we're doing that, let me know where you're coming from. Thank you so much. Columbus, Ohio, Placerville, California. We have Virginia, Washington, Kentucky. Wow, we got people all over the place, which is super cool. And I'm really grateful for the speakers that we have today. So the speakers that we have today, when I call your name, just wave. Let me know that, just wave so people can see you. So our speakers for the day, first off, we're going to have Robin Owens. Robin, she can wave right there. Awesome. Excited to hear from you. Then we have Roland Thompson. All right. Excited to hear from you, Roland. And then Teresa Vermillion will be speaking. Wonderful. Lois Wagner. Lois, can you wave? There you go. And then Lindsay Lathrop-Ryan. Very excited to hear from you. This is going to be great. I just want to, at the beginning, say, everyone, I know that this has been going on for a long time. This has been going on for a long time. But the world needs us more now than they ever did. And from the beginning of this, a lot of people were in this positive mindset, positive attitude. But I've seen it wearing. Lots of people are getting tired and annoyed and starting to get, it seems like the tension's at like level 8 kind of all the time. Everyone's up here all the time. It's really easy for someone to kind of snap. And it's so important that we just keep up this positivity and we keep bringing it out. Don't participate in the drama. There can be drama out there, but let's just not participate in it. Let's not join that drama. Let's not be a part of it. There's so much, look, I don't know all the details of what's going on. I don't know all the details of what's going on, but I can't control that. I can't control anything about it. What I can control is I can control doing my part to spread a positive message. And that's what we're doing here. I'm so excited to hear from our speakers. And our very first speaker, Robin Owens, dear friend of mine. She is absolutely incredible, and I'm so excited to hear from her. Let's give her a big round of applause. All right, all right. All right, everyone, I'd encourage you to click speaker view and then double click on Robin's image so that you can see her as she is speaking, and do the same thing for every speaker that we have. All right, Robin, take it away.
Okay, thanks, Jake. Hi, everybody. It's so good to be here. For those of you, you might not know me, but there's a story that I always tell about myself that I want to start with. I'm from Connecticut, but I'm always telling people I'm from the great state of Connecticut. I know something about it. It's just so small. I have to give it a little more. So I call it the great state of Connecticut. And I live here in California and Los Angeles now, but all my family and loved ones are still in Connecticut, most of them. And so there's a distinct memory that I have from growing up in Connecticut that I want to share with you today. I distinctly remember being about 7 or 8 years old. I lived in this big 3-family house. And one family on one floor, one family on another, and another, the way the houses are built there in Connecticut. And my parents owned the building, but we had family in the other floors. And so one day I was sitting out on the front porch, this big wraparound porch. And like I say, I'm like 7 years old in the summertime, just sitting out, looking across the street, looking up at the trees, enjoying myself. And I hear my father inside with my cousins. I have about 7 or 8 cousins around my age, and they're all playing, and then they're about to come outside. So he says to them, "Don't go out there and bother Robin. She's out there contemplating the meaning of life." And he laughed, ha, 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 this is so funny, right? And they all laughed. And I felt so embarrassed, right? I just felt like a little weird kid. And, you know, I was just embarrassed. But now, of course, as an adult looking back, I'm like, he was right. He was right. I was thinking about the big issues of life, my childhood version of it, but I'm still doing it today as an adult. I think about these big issues of life. And so today I think about things like meaning and passion and purpose. And I built my whole work around those big issues of life. So I'm so happy to be here today and to offer some inspiration about the power of purpose, the power of purpose. Especially in this strange time. I mean, it's strange and unexpected and uncertain, and we're all in it together, though. We're all in this time, this strange and unexpected time together. And we all have a power to tap into. This is what I want us to think about today. We all have a power to tap into. And the power really is our purpose. That power that each one of us has is our purpose. I have purpose, we all have purpose, you have purpose. And you can use your purpose as a source of strength. Especially now, you know, Jake mentioned a few minutes ago about people are getting weary, you know, this is going on and on and on. You can use your purpose as a source of strength and also as a source of determination to keep going, even in the midst of it, no matter what it is. No matter what it is, your purpose could be a source of strength, determination, a source of renewed passion, even a source of focus. You can use your purpose as a guide to make your decisions. I mean, I do it all the time. I do it all the time. And people I've worked with, they do it all the time. Use your purpose as a guide to know, always know what the next right thing to do is. Whether it's in your life, in your business, or in your career, you can always know what the next right thing to do is. And let's say if you're in business, you can know, well, maybe now is the time you're thinking about if your business is changing a little bit in the midst of this situation, thinking about your branding or the problem you solve or your products or services. Use your purpose to determine those things because there's power in purpose. And you already have it. You already have it. It's deep down within you right now. And it leaves clues. It's trying to get your attention. And you might say, well, how does it leave clues? Well, this is how it leaves clues. And people say to me all the time, well, how can I find my purpose? I don't think I can find my purpose. And this is what I say to them. And I say to all of us here now, this is how you find your purpose. Take 3 things. 1, your passions. A lot of people think it's just your passions. It's not just your passions. 1, take your passions, those things you absolutely love. So you'll take some aspect of that. The second thing, you'll take your values, those things that really matter to you. So some portion of your values, so some portion of your passions, your values. And the third thing, some portion of your natural abilities, those things that come to you naturally that you're good at, your gifts, your skills, your natural abilities, your zone of genius. So you take those 3, your passions, your values, your natural abilities, but you don't stop there. You use those in combination. Take all 3 of them in combination and use them in service to something beyond yourself. Now, many of us here, we're probably service-minded. We have messages. We're like, yes, I want to help. We do service. But if you use some aspect of your passions, your values, and your natural abilities together in your service, now you're in your purpose. And the purpose is not this one time, I found it once and for all, that's it. It's not what we think generally, that it's this one big thing, this one time I found a cure for cancer and that's going to be it. For most of us, that's not the way it works. It changes and grows as we change and grow, even in situations. But it's flexible enough if you use these combinations, the passions, your values, your natural abilities, and use them in service. So there's power in purpose. And I'm here today to encourage you to think about it, rethink about it. If you haven't found your purpose, find your purpose. If you've already found your purpose and you're like, I think I found my purpose, I know, then I encourage you to use your purpose. This is the time. Use it as a guide. In this situation that we find ourselves in, as unexpected as it is, as unique as it is, as uncertain as it is, use your purpose. There's power in purpose. You can do it. You can do it. And I'm rooting for you. All right. Back to you, Jake.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Robin. Let's give Robin a big round of applause. All right, everyone. All right. I love everyone getting into it. Tara raising the roof. That was great. Love it. Awesome. Well, so glad that everyone got to hear that from you, Robin. Can you share real quick those 3 different aspects, just to reiterate that?
3 different aspects of you, your passions, those things you absolutely love, not a little bit, absolutely love, your passions. The second thing, your values, those things that really matter to you. And I'm guessing this is the time our values we have more, let's say, a spotlight on certain values than we did before. So the second thing, those things that really matter to you.
Yes.
And the third, your natural abilities. You can call them your gifts, your skills, your zone of genius, your natural abilities. So your passions, your values, and your natural abilities. Some aspect of them. You can't use them all because you can have 20 passions, but some aspect in combination.
I love that. That's fantastic. That's incredible. I'd like everyone to share in the comments what the number one thing that you got out of Robin's presentation was. Please share that in the comments, the number one thing you got from Robin's presentation. For those of you here on Zoom and also those of you watching on Facebook, please share that, what that number one thing is. Now, I know I just asked you to do one thing, but I'm going to ask you to do one more thing as well. And that's going to be, I'm sharing a link right now in the comments here in Zoom. And that is a direct link to the Facebook Live that's going on right now. I'm going to ask you guys to share that on just share it onto your Facebook profile right away. But Robin, what is the best way for people to get in touch with you? What's the best social media platform for people to connect with you if they want to learn more?
I'm on Facebook, Purpose with Robin on Facebook. Jake, can I also mention my new guide that I just made?
Of course.
Okay. If you know anyone who's looking for their purpose, I just created a new guide that's called 7 Steps to Finding Your Purpose, Even in Uncertain Times. So if you know anybody who's looking for their purpose, download the guide at purposebase.com.
Love it.
Purposebase.com.
And that's fantastic, because let's just think about this. How many people are struggling through that right now, what their purpose is, to find that purpose even in challenging times. I think that's so important. So can you share the link to both of those in the comments here, but also head over to the Facebook Live and share that on there as well, so that people can see that. So thank you so much, Robin. Let's give her one more round of applause.
Thanks, everybody. So good to see you and be here with you.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, and yeah, so purposebase.com was it. So yeah, share that in. There's a couple questions on what that exactly was. So share that link there. So our next speaker is Mr. Roland Thompson. Very excited to hear from Roland. I know this is going to be great. Roland is an absolute conduit of wisdom, and I'm excited to hear from him as he shares his message and his life experience. So as he is doing that, as he's coming up, everyone, let's please give him a big, giant, virtual round of applause.
Hey, thanks, Jake.
All right. Let me get you up on the screen. Okay, Roland, take it away.
Hey, thanks for that introduction. Kind of reminded me of the man who was being introduced as making $1 million in oil in Texas. And when he came up to the podium, he said, you know, I need to clarify a couple of things. First of all, it wasn't oil, it was coal. And it wasn't Texas, it was Pennsylvania. And it wasn't $1 million, it's actually $250,000. And it wasn't me, it was my brother. And he didn't make it, he lost it. You know, I enjoyed Robin's talk. Robin looks just like her picture that she had you posted. Mine obviously doesn't. And there's a reason with all this COVID thing going on. That picture that I had on the screen was actually taken next year. So you guys, and things are just really screwy. So how would you feel? I mean, this is what I liked about Robin's thing, because she talks about purpose. How would you feel if your children grew up living their life solely not to disappoint you? You know, think about that. And it's so important. You know, we don't think about it when raising our children and things. How many here have kids? How many have ever seen a kid? Okay, but anyway, so when you get through life, I've learned, I wish somebody had shared with me this 50 years ago when I started out in the workforce, is that mindset is really important. There's only 2 mindsets that we basically have when we walk through this life. Prosperity mindset, some people say abundance, or poverty mindset, or scarcity. And you can't be successful unless you have a prosperity mindset. There's no way. Because success means different things to different people. One of the things that I always like to ask my audience is to internalize. This helps with the mindset thing. Internalize this. Don't just know it. There are 7.8 billion people walking on this planet. There's not one person on this planet anywhere that has any more right to walk on this planet than anyone else. No one. We all came to this planet. We came from the pre-existence life where we came from. Every one of us was curled up in the dark for 9 months before we came out of that portal to this life. And every single one of us has a specific purpose, like Robin pointed out. We all have different fingerprints, we all have different DNA, but we all have specific purposes. And we need to be supportive of our rising generation and helping them discover that purpose. So like taking Robin's 7 steps and you know, introducing it to others. So one of the things with being a prosperity mindset is being thankful all the time. You know, out of the 7.8 billion people, only 4.2% live in this country. That our poorest person is still in the top 10% of wealth of the world. Just that alone should be able to get you started off with a prosperity mindset. I grew up in the welfare projects of Seattle. If you guys know Seattle, White Center, it was a rough neighborhood when I grew up in the 50s. I actually was the biggest wimp in the neighborhood. There was one kid I could beat up, and then she moved. And it was like downhill after that. So they did a study, you know, of 50 people who were 95 years old and older. And they asked them, if you were going to live life over again, what would you do differently? The number one response was they wish they'd taken more risk in life. Imagine that, 95, you get this timeline, 0 to 100. 95, right at the end. 80 is life expectancy. I'm only 10 years away, 120 paychecks from my life expectancy. And there's a lot of work that needs to be done out there. Number two was smell the roses a lot more along the way. One of the things we've learned about this COVID thing, and it's bringing us together, is how important the family is and spending more time with the family. So I think of this COVID thing as, you know, and I apologize for people because it's my fault. It was actually brought on for me. And it happened to a lot of other people. I mean, you can be a victim, it happened to you, but it actually happened for me. And it's really helped me, and I'm thankful for it. I mean, I could be unthankful for it or thankful, but either way, that's the E plus R equals O. It's an event I can't do anything about. The third one was leave a legacy, which definition to me is because moi, Roland Thompson, walked on this planet. A lot of people's lives are so much better because I was here. So I go back to the thing I wanted to talk about is risk. Why don't people take risk? So there's a four-letter word, starts with the letter F, and it's called fear. Ralph Waldo Emerson said, do the things you fear, and the death of fear is certain. Why don't people go after their dreams and their passion? They're afraid of what other people may think. Why do we worry about what they think? We have just as much right to be on this planet than them, but we are entitled to whatever our passion and our purpose is. And so I wanted to teach my kids this. And now if you have children, you realize they don't always do what you say, but they will always do what you do. So I needed to model it for them. So throughout life, and I started modeling it, and I didn't realize how powerful it was to them when my youngest son, who is a singer, songwriter, and we were having the Todd Lewinsky, the CEO for the Seattle Seahawks, was the main speaker at this big chamber event that we were at. And I'm on the board, so I asked the CEO of the chamber, I said, hey, Chris, wouldn't it be great if we had somebody sing the national anthem? He goes, you know, Roland, that'd be a great idea. So I said, well, I can get my son to sing it. He said, oh, could you? That'd be great. You know, ask. And so that, when they had that event, my son got out of school. He was a senior in high school, got to sit there with us among hundreds of people, my peers. And Todd spoke after the national anthem. And finally he goes, so is there any other questions about the Seahawks this year? Well, my son's hand shot up and he looked over at me and I'm like, oh my gosh, you're going to embarrass me. And he goes, and he could see it in my eyes. And he said, you know, Dad, don't worry about it. I won't embarrass you. And so Todd calls on him. He said, yeah, you young man. He said, he stood up and he said, so what would it take for me to sing the national anthem at a Seahawk game? And Todd was like kind of taken back. And he looked at me and he said, hey, Dad, how's his grades? I lied and said they were good. And he said, well, then that's a done deal. Nothing. When they interviewed him that night on TV and stuff, and they said, wow, what made you ask such a question? He said, well, the answer is no. If I didn't ask, you know, I had nothing to lose. And they people said, hey, his dad's always saying that. So nothing will ever touch the feeling of a dad standing on Quest Field next to Matt Hasselbeck while your son's singing the national anthem in front of 50,000 people. And there are so many other little examples for my kids, and I see how they've turned out just because I mirrored that part of just going ahead and doing the things you fear. So when you're sitting there and you're trying to, when you sit there and you think, why don't you go ahead and pull the trigger on things? Do you realize the most successful people in this world are those who have fallen down and failed the most? So the next time you want to make a decision, you're trying to think a business decision or something, and you're saying, well, and somebody's doing that, they say, well, what if I fail? It's like, you have to fail in order to succeed, because you're already failed if you don't do it. So go for it. And the real big key, and it's Robin brings it up, is meditating is so important. Getting in touch of that higher power. Because when you came through that portal and you left before, one of the things he promised is he will always be in touch with us. And we'll always meditate, and he'll always communicate of why you're here and giving you guidance. Forget about what other people think and the fear of, making decisions and stuff. Just go for it. And I've seen so many parents destroy the dreams of their kids and such. We can't do that. These are the future leaders of the world. And we got to build this country bottom up, not top down. I'm not political, and I don't, because politics, I used to think Roe versus Wade was the first executive decision a president was making when George Washington was crossing the Delaware. So I don't know much about politics, but I do admonish you to meditate, find your purpose, and just go without fear and realize, welcome fear, because that's what's going to help you succeed in life. Thanks, Greg.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Roland. That is absolutely.
And I'm only on Facebook right now with my project. Over time, I'll eventually expand, but Facebook, just find me on Facebook. That's how you get a hold of me. Be a friend. Reach out anytime.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Well, you interrupted our round of applause. Let's hear a round of applause for Roland. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And everyone, please type into the comments the number one thing that you got out of Roland's presentation, out of Roland's speech. Number one thing that you got. Share that below. And Roland, just a little bit, let's do a little more formality there. How can people get connected with you?
They can get connected with me on, Facebook. Yeah, Facebook, because that's, like I said, I haven't gotten to the Instagram. I'm probably on LinkedIn, but I'm still kind of intimidating, all that new technology stuff. Facebook, I like.
That's great. That's great. And I'm going to tell you this, and I'm going to tell everyone this. It's easy for people to get intimidated by technology, but good for you for being there already. Now, you don't look it, but you're in your 70s, right?
Oh, no. Next year, I'll be 70.
Okay, you'll be 70 next year, so it's close. Yeah. And I don't think you look it at all. But yet, there's not that many people who are pushing 70 that are saying, you know what, I need to get more onto social media and onto creating this content and getting on these platforms. And all you need to do, and all everyone needs to do, is just start sharing. Just start sharing your truth. Start sharing your messages. Start sharing the good. But don't worry so much about all the details. Just start sharing it. Just start putting it out there. And stop worrying so much. That's for everyone. Just start sharing. So Roland, that is incredible. So glad that you shared your message with us. Everyone, one more time, round of applause.
Thanks, Jake. Thanks, everybody.
Wonderful, Roland.
To the next speaker.
Well, thank you so much. We are too. Thanks, Roland. Okay, now our next speaker today, we're going to be hearing from Teresa Vermillion, and I hope that I'm pronouncing that right. That is an exciting name. I am. Wonderful. I'm so glad. Enough people in life have called me every time I go to a pharmacy or anything like that, and I say, do you have something for Valentine? They come back and they say, no, we don't have anything. And I say, try it in the B section instead of in the V section, and then they find it. Or, people call me Ballantine. I've had Jake Ballantini. I hear all these things, and I go, okay. So I always want to make sure to pronounce people's names right. So let's bring Teresa up, and as Teresa is coming up, let's give her a huge round of applause. All right, here we go, Teresa. Let me get you up on screen. Let's see. Hold on one sec. There we go. Teresa, take it away.
Excellent. Thank you. Can everybody hear me okay? Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Thanks. So I am Teresa Vermillion. I am in Cincinnati, Ohio, and I am a certified health coach. And that projected me onto my course of being a little bit obsessed with all things coaching. So this is just such a fantastic group. Talk about focus on the good. Anytime you want to find good, this is a great place to come. So when this world pandemic situation broke wide open, I knew I needed to shift my thinking, and I stopped for a minute, as I think we all kind of stopped for a minute, whether we meant to or not. And I said, what do we all need right now? What do we need to get us through this? And 3 words came to mind, and those words were hope, perseverance, and focus. And so those are the 3 tools I'm going to give you today to help you thrive through transition. So hope. When you hear the word hope, first of all, you're like, is that really a tool? Doesn't it just kind of feel like that's wishful thinking? You know, like it's kind of a lofty, emotional thing. So stick with me for a minute, because hope is actually part of your mental game. According to Psychology Today, hope means that you have a will to get through your difficulties. Having hope means that you will grow and improve. People who have hope have different ways to solve their problem. When skill and ability can really only get you so far, right? It's hope that's going to take you the rest of the way. And as an analogy, let me just say, like if you have this amazing car in your garage, right? And those are your skills and your abilities and your talents and your intellect and your work ethic, but it never leaves the garage. Hope is what takes the car out of the garage and gets it onto the road. So I hope that kind of made sense. The very idea of hope requires us to believe in a future. When this all started, we were all like, we don't know what the future is. We don't know what the future is. And some of us kind of stopped for a minute. Some of us stopped for longer than that, but it's hope. I mean, who hopes for what they already have, right? Nobody hopes for things that we already have. We hope for things that we don't have yet. And so it really can be a really strong avenue, a great tool to have in your mental toolbox to get you through this. And as we get through this crisis, we are hoping for something that's not here yet, that requires a belief in a future that will eventually be here, which takes us to perseverance. And perseverance is such a great word, isn't it? It's actually my word for this year. If you do the word thing, as I would journal, and gosh, it's even weird to say that because I'm getting so much better at journaling, but it's weird to think that I journal now. So as I would journal, and the words keep going, just kept coming up. So the word perseverance ended up my word for the year, which also didn't at first feel like me. But it's definitely what we're doing. So what are we actually talking about when we use the word? It sounds so great. Perseverance, it's awesome. But what does it mean? It's actually just a continued effort in a course of action or purpose, especially and in spite of difficulties, obstacles, discouragement, failures, or opposition. Resonate with anybody? Anyone? So, I mean, this sounds brutal. Why do we even hold perseverance in such esteem? Because that just sounds brutal, right? But it means that you're digging in when you already thought you were working hard. It means that you're working harder when there's disruptions and interruptions and unforeseen circumstances, which we're all dealing with, right? If you were to look up the secrets of success, perseverance is always on the list. It is one of the key things that people who are successful have. So in our current situation, we have some unforeseen extreme circumstances none of us were ready for, right? Every single one of us had to pivot. We all had to step back, take that deep breath, regroup, and push through, right? Some of us wanted to quit. Some of us lost our hope. We stopped in our tracks, even just for a few minutes. And some of us, at some point, we all kept going. And the only other choice is to stop. So when you stop, it's over. When you stop, it's over. And it's never really over. So there are no quick fixes. It's just like your workouts and your diets and your businesses and raising kids. You can't take shortcuts raising kids, right? Especially, right, Roland? Can speak to that too, I'm sure. So perseverance means you're in it for the long haul. You're committed. You have no other choice but to keep going. And why wouldn't you? because it takes a certain kind of grit and tenacity to persevere. So I think that's kind of cool when we all have that. And then the third thing that I got was focus. And this is kind of a big one, and I love it. And I love that Jake started this series, Focus on the Good, because it's such an important tool to have. Because where we focus is where our energy goes. And energy is a huge topic that I do in other talks that I do, but where you, and you can all probably think of a time or think of a thing or think right now of something in your life that you're either focused on or not focusing on where you want to be going. And how is that pulling you away from what you want to be doing or towards what you want to be working towards? So you definitely want to remain clear. You want to get very clear on what you want. And you also need to know why you want it. That's huge in our world today, right? Knowing your why is a big thing. So make sure you're clear on what you want, know why you want it. And if we focus on the fear or the unfortunate outcomes that could happen, or, you know, how is that going to feel? What's that going to do to our energy? It just brings us down, right? So when we focus on the outcomes we desire and the possible good, our energy remains high and we're optimistic. And we get towards what it is we're working for, right? It's what, yeah. So when you catch your thoughts spiraling down a dark path, stop yourself, take that deep breath and ask, what am I focusing on? And see if you can come up with the thoughts that started to take your focus away. And then and this is a practice, start practicing on thought shifting back to where you want your focus to be. And that's a big discipline. It's something I've been working on a lot, is just that thought shifting those thoughts, changing your thoughts, because we have control over those. We get to choose our thoughts. We get to choose our focus. And that is really, really super cool. So be sure to guard your minds. And in conclusion, just to wrap up, as I was putting this all together, I realized how closely these are related. And I absolutely love what Robin said about your purpose, because and how it does change and grow as you change and grow. And as we're all changing and growing, the things that are going to take us through is our hope, our perseverance, and our focus. And we get to choose those. So choose well. Thank you. Back to you, Jake.
Wonderful. That is absolutely fantastic. Let's see. Hold on here. Let's see a big round of applause. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Yeah. And I'd love to hear what the number one thing that you got out of that presentation in the comments right here. One of the reasons why I ask you to stay commenting and ask you to stay on the screen is so we can be present. You know, if we were in a room together, you wouldn't, yeah, maybe some people go and, you know, some people, yes, I know if you're in a room together, will be on their phone the whole time. But I know that most people, I know that when I watch something, when I'm not on screen, I'm not going to pay that. I mean, I'll try to, but I'll be doing other things at the same time, and I'll be doing all sorts of other things. I'm trying to be present. And that's a big thing I've been thinking about a lot, is the importance of presence in life. Because when we're present, you know, everything becomes easy. One of the things that Liz Gabor shared last week is that that stress only exists when we're living in the past and when we're living in the future. But when we're living in the present, incredible things happen. I think if we can just be present for whatever you're doing, with your family, with your business, with whatever goals that you have, be present. Now, Teresa, thank you so much for that wonderful message. Share with us, what is the best way for people to get in touch with you online?
Find me on Facebook.
Great.
Teresa Vermillion, friend me.
Wonderful. Can you share a link in the comments there, then also in the live video there as well? You can just make a comment there on the live video and say, hey, here I am. Feel free to connect with me. Would love to hear more of this message. It's so important that you're sharing it. Wonderful, wonderful. Let's hear one more round of applause.
Thank you.
All right. Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much, Teresa. And okay, well, now we're going to go to the land where it is very late at night. And Lois has made such a great sacrifice to be here. I've heard a lot of people say things like, you know, I'd love to come, but, you know, I have this thing or that thing or whatever. And Lois says, I don't care that it's midnight. I'm going to be there. It's pushing 1 o'clock right now, pushing 1 a.m. And here she is. So let's give a big, warm round of applause for Lois Wagner. Wonderful, wonderful. Let's see. Let me click speaker view and get Lois up on the screen. Let me get you up. Okay. Take it away, Lois.
Hi, Jake. Hi, everybody. I was attacked, raped, and left for dead. Oh, this is supposed to be focusing on the good. Well, there is a good story to tell. We all go through some kind of disruption in life. We all have some adversity or challenge that is forced upon us. And what happens is we fall down into victim mode. You blame people, you feel guilty, you get angry, you get fearful, you even might hate somebody. And we go down into victim mode. And so it's very important that we start working out of that and we become survivors, and we start struggling, and we start seeking help, and we start working with other people and looking for resources. And that's a struggle, but we are surviving. Then you develop the resilience, and the resilience is what I think Robin was talking about. It's about having your passion. And when you've got resilience, you start focusing on getting things back onto track, and you bounce back to where you were before your disruption, before your adversity. And then the next step is very important. It's the grit, and that is the future focus that Teresa was talking about. You've got to find some aspiration, some dream, some focus that will take you forward. So with resilience, you bounce back to where you were before, and with grit, you bounce forward into a new dimension. And then we start thriving. We start empowering ourselves. We start achieving some level of success, and we start getting happy again. And then we develop the growth mindset. We learn, we get stronger, we start giving back to the community, we start giving back to others. We use our gifts and our talents to give back. And then for me, the next step is the most important step. And I took this step 14 years after I was raped. The rapist was given 25 years imprisonment. And 14 years after he was raped, I was living outside of South Africa. I was living in the Middle East. And I was going home for my first holiday. And I found out that he was up on a parole hearing. And the law had just changed to enable people, victims, as they were called, to attend a parole hearing. And I was the first person in South Africa to attend a parole hearing. It was quite amazing, because I was landing on the 8th of October, and the parole hearing was on the 9th of October. It was just too much of a coincidence. I forgave the rapist. That was the most freeing and liberating. The internet seemed to go down. That was the most freeing and liberating thing that I have ever done. The authorities said to me that they would tell me in 7 days if he got parole or not. And I just looked at them and I said, no, you won't tell me. I don't need to know. I don't want to know. Because what forgiveness is, it's not about condoning what the perpetrator did. It's not about letting them off the hook. Forgiveness is about breaking that bond, breaking that tie that is holding you to that person or to that incident, and holding you to those fears and emotions and bad feelings. It breaks those ties. And I walked out of that prison. I can't tell you, I didn't walk out the prison. I flew out of that prison. Fear, and that's what forgiveness does. It gives you that true freedom. So.
Wow, that is absolutely. Yes, I am. I wasn't sure that you were finished. Wow, Lois, that is absolutely incredible. Incredible. Let's see a round of applause. Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful, Lois.
Thank you.
I think that you're such an incredible example to be able to have that kind of forgiveness. And the first thing you said was, I know that this is supposed to be focused on the good. I can tell you and everyone here that focusing on the good is not about pretending that there's no problems. It's about being able to handle the problems in a way that helps you. It's about being able to find the good in everything.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart of you sharing that story. Please, everyone in the comments, share your love to Lois. And Lois, what's the best way to connect with you online?
Okay, I've got a whole bunch of
Well,
stuff,
let's see.
but I'll just give you the one. I've got
you're
a
kind of
web
breaking up
and a
little bit.
Facebook page called Walk.
Lois,
Can you hear me now?
yes,
Can you hear me?
I'm hearing you a little bit right now. So here's what we want you to do. You share the best place for people to get connected with you, and then you're going to share the link in the comments so that way we can be sure that they hear you.
Okay, it's called Walking Without Skin. It's both on the web and on Facebook, Walking Without Skin. And I also have a free ebook if anybody wants it. I'll put the link in the chat. It's called Raise Your Vibration, Ignite, Build, and Maintain Your Personal or Professional Mojo.
Wonderful. Love that mojo. That's incredible. Thank you so much, Lois. One more time, round of applause. All right. Thank you, Lois. That was a beautiful story. Thank you for sharing it. I can't tell you how much I do truly appreciate that. Now our next speaker to the Focus on the Good Inspirational Speaker Hour is Lindsay Lathrop-Ryan. Lindsay, give us a little wave. All right. I'm so excited to hear from Lindsay. The first time I met Lindsay and her now husband, Colin, was at an event. We just happened to sit at the same table. This was probably, I don't know, 7, 8 years ago. And it's funny because, you know, the three of us hadn't really got connected again until years later. But, you know, they just sitting there together at that table, we had so much fun, so many laughs. I think when we were driving around afterwards following, that was about the hardest I've ever laughed in my life. That was a really cool experience, and I'm really glad that now we get to hear from you. So, Lindsay, let's see, come off of mute. I am going to bring you up on screen. Let's see, there we go. Okay, Lindsay, you can take it away.
Thank you. Yeah, that was such a funny memory. Colin and I talk about that every so often. All right, so everyone, I'm so happy to be here today with you. For those that don't know me, my name's Lindsay, and I live in Vermont with my husband, who is that handsome guy on here named Colin Ryan, unless Greg is calling himself Colin today, I don't know, but it's the real Colin Ryan. And in addition to being married to my best friend, I have my own business focused on negotiation and self-promotion coaching. So again, thank you so much for having me. So I could tell you a lot of stories about my dad, Pete, but if I had to sum him up in one word, it would be contradiction. And even though he was a mechanic, I can remember him dropping me off at school. It was so embarrassing, in a pickup truck with holes so big you could literally see the road underneath us. And I also remember on those drives, we always listened to self-help tapes. See, my dad was of 10 kids, come from a very large family. My dad's of 10 kids, my mom's of 14 kids. And my mom was very close to dropping out. My dad did drop out of high school. And he ended up running a cash-based garage. And I can just picture him so clearly working on cars with a huge wad of cash just like hanging out of his pocket. I did not learn personal finance skills from him. And that night, he would sit in his chair and he would read car manuals cover to cover and actually knew what those diagrams meant. I never got it. And he would also read Dale Carnegie, Stephen Covey, and other motivational books. I think everyone here probably knows the type. But even as a kid, I can recall looking at this guy who had all of the knowledge in the world on how to improve himself, and he just wouldn't take action. He always struggled to make ends meet, and it just seemed like even as a little kid, I picked up on like he always got in his own way. And when I reflect on that, I think it's from him that I get my drive. See, my dad taught me a lesson that I think about almost every day. no one is going to tap you on the head and tell you who you are. The only person who can do that is you. And absolutely no one benefits from you playing small. I'm grateful for my dad every day because he helped me understand the importance of taking action. In fact, I heard a quote recently by Tony Robbins, so my dad would love this. And he said, if you're going to blame your parents, then blame them accurately. Blame them for the ways they let you down and for the person they inspired you to become. So I like to say I was my first coaching client. In the years since leaving my small hometown in New York, I earned 3 college degrees, and that made me the first person in my very large family I told you about to graduate from college. And for the past 6 years, I've coached professionals and entrepreneurs to negotiate more money and develop the skill of self-promotion. And, you know, the idea that I think ultimately bubbles to the surface tonight for me to share with you all is this, and that is champions need champions. So let me tell you about Liz. She founded her own award-winning engineer company. She's worked in a male-dominated industry her whole life, and she mentors as many women as she can. Her LinkedIn is full of recommendations, and she routinely speaks at conferences and has been published. So when Liz came to me, there was something holding her back from owning her success. She just found herself hitting a wall that she couldn't break through. I'm sure we have all at some point or another been there. And Liz tells me one day that she has been selected to be on a national board. And she says it in this really deflated way, almost like she'd been selected for jury duty. And in our work together over a few months, Liz was able to own her own accomplishments again. She got to see herself as the badass she is, and she got to get her joy back. And I've worked with countless people like Liz. I'm sure you have too. And it always reminds me that even champions like Liz need to have champions. Coaches need to have coaches, because the point is we are the average of the people we surround ourselves with. And my gut tells me that this group, we would all rather surround ourselves with people who can help us identify opportunities, reframe struggles, who help us see over and over again the powerful truth that what's in the way is the way. Someone who reminds us that we may not be the best judge of what we can and cannot do. Otherwise, we probably wouldn't be here tonight. So champions are all around us. Just look at the people on this call, right? Okay, I'm going to tell you something else about my childhood. I was an overweight kid who desperately wanted to leave the small town we lived in. And as an overweight girl, I truly felt invisible. I remember writing in my childhood diary something about being very confused at why my whole family was thin and I wasn't. And I grew up with this narrative that said I had to be a specific body type to have any value. For a long time, that made me not take risks. We talked about risks tonight and how important they are. I hid not only in my clothes, but I hid from opportunities. And honestly, deep down, I think it's because I didn't feel like I deserved to be seen. I also felt like a tremendous outsider because no one else in my family seemed to dream. There was almost this like hopelessness or a resigned acceptance. It said, Lindsay, this is where we live. Lindsay, it's always going to be this way. It didn't seem like there was any effort to make things better, to change our economic status or to see the world. And I knew I wanted something else, but I had no idea how to get it. Fortunately, while I was hiding, people kept seeing me. My art teacher, my first boss, my favorite college professor. People wanted to build me up, and they saw something in me that I didn't see or I was not ready to see. I can't tell you how many times in webinars, Facebook groups, on projects I've worked on, I see people who need to be encouraged, to be built up. And I do it because I've never regretted making that effort. I build people up because I was built up. And I want to encourage everyone on here today to reach out to someone tonight, today, and let them know how remarkable you think they are. Give them a virtual high five. We can do that on this chat. Tell them you've been watching them and that you're proud of them. literally before I started speaking, I got a text message that said, I see you and I think you're wonderful. Like the timing of that, it's just like, you never know how, and no, it was not Colin, but so tell them you've been watching them and you're proud of them, and watch how quickly the value you add to others comes back to you. So that is my message tonight. Thank you all for this opportunity. And you can all find me at lindsaylathrop.com. When you go to that website, I'll put it in the chat, a challenge will pop up, and it's my 7-day challenge it's called #IamRemarkable. This is a Google initiative I've been certified in that really helps you challenge your self-promotion, garbage, it is probably garbage, baggage, and really helps you self-market. So and each day builds on the next. So when you go to lindsaylathrop.com, that'll pop up and you can sign up. And I really look forward to meeting more of everyone in this group.
Wonderful. Round of applause. Yeah. Lindsay, thank you so much for sharing that. No, I don't think it's garbage. Maybe we do have baggage, but I don't think it's garbage. Not at all. It's so important. I had a call with someone today, and we were talking about serving and how serving is such a great way to really, in our marketplace today, there's nothing better than serving. And he says, well, I don't really like doing it because I feel like it's manipulative, because it really comes down to, at the end, I'm gonna ask for something, and that's just us getting stuck in our heads. That's just getting stuck in our heads, because it's so important to share. Lindsay, I just want to say thank you so much for sharing that message. I think it was so important. And share that thing you said again about I see you. Share what you said there.
Oh, about being seen?
Yes.
Yeah, I think, I don't remember the exact thing I said, but like, you are the only person that can say who you are. And when you see yourself, other people see you too. And it's just like, it all just works. But
yes.
It starts here.
Yes.
You can't bypass this part. I've tried many times.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Lindsay. That was absolutely incredible. Everyone go and connect with her and follow her. And let's give her a round of applause. All right. Wonderful. Wonderful. As always, I want to share at the end here a couple thoughts that have been going on in my mind. And first off, I want to see by a raise of hands, how many of you want to have more success? How many of you want to have more success? And I think, honestly, that should be everyone. Everyone should want more. Everyone should be growing. Everyone should be working towards more. Now, I'll tell you guys this. A lot of times people think that the key to success is going to be that next new strategy. It's going to be that next new thing. It's going to be the next thing in front of them. Maybe they're not working hard enough and they need to work harder. They feel like they need to do more. They feel like, and I get that. I understand that. And all those things are important. I say this often. Lindsay quoted Tony Robbins. This is a quote from him as well. He says that success is 80% psychology and 20% strategy. He said, now, of course, the strategy still matters. Of course, the strategy still matters, because I can run all day going east and I'm still never going to see the sunset. If that's what I'm trying to see, I'm never going to see it if I'm looking in the wrong direction. Of course, it's important. But I'll tell you this, your mindset, the psychology in your mind, this is 80% of the success. It's about being in alignment with where you want to be. It's about being in alignment with who you want to become. And I'd like you to think right now about whatever it is that you want to achieve right now. And don't bridle that because of COVID. That's ridiculous. Don't bridle what you want because you think this is just the way it is right now. No, that's not true. You can still achieve anything that you want. But think about what you want. Think about whatever that is. And now the ego will tell us that now it's time for us to think, what do I need to do in order to get there? That's what we'll think. We'll think, what do I need to do? 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 I'm going to invite you to put the do away for right now. Let's not think about that right now, because the action means nothing until you focus on being. and being in alignment with what you want to achieve. So think about what you want to achieve. Close your eyes and go there in your mind. Right now, just so you know, I see your faces and not everyone's closing their eyes. So close your eyes right now. I want you to think about, when I achieve this vision, when I achieve this goal, what am I going to feel? How is it going to feel when I achieve this goal? How am I going to feel? What am I going to think? Why is this important to me? Why does this goal matter to me? What kind of things am I going to think about that I'm not thinking about now? What kind of feelings am I going to feel that I'm not currently feeling? Then what actions would I take? What actions would I be doing and taking if I had already achieved it? Now, once again, a lot of people think when they say, well, what would you be doing if you reach this goal? A lot of people will say, well, if I reach the goal, then I wouldn't be doing these things. No. I'm not talking about something that you just reach once. I'm talking about you want to get there and keep going. This is the principle of acting as if. Now, I want you to think a little bit harder about this. Think a little bit more. Step into that feeling of everything that you want. How will it feel? What will you think? What will be going on in your mind? What things will you think about? What things will you feel? What things will you do? What things will you not think? What things will you not feel? What things will you not do? I want you to open your eyes. And now I want you to realize that everything that you need to reach those goals is inside of those feelings. The feelings that you have when you achieve this. You need to, not need to, you get to, you can choose to if this is what you want. Step into those feelings, because the feelings that you thought about right there of I will feel these things, I will not feel these things when I achieve this, I will think these thoughts, I won't think those thoughts when I achieve it. Those are the thoughts and feelings that will get you to where you want to be. I want you to think about anything you've ever achieved. And when you think about that thing, maybe there was a lot of hard work involved. Maybe there was, maybe there wasn't. I believe in hard work. I think that is very, very important, to work and work and work. But if we're working without alignment, if we're working in a way to where I got to have it now, and we're in this rush, well, what are we saying? We're saying that we don't have it now. We're reminding ourselves constantly we don't have it now. And what we're really telling ourselves is that we probably can't reach that goal. And so I got to run really fast to maybe make it happen. I'm going to encourage everyone to slow down. Slow down so that you can go fast. When you slow down, everything will go faster. Your success will go faster. When you take your time with what is in front of you, and you actually do something with quality. Don't worry so much about being, I say quality, but I'm not talking about perfection. I'm talking about putting your heart and soul into what is right in front of you. The answers to achieving your goals are inside of those feelings that you would feel. Now, if you achieve those goals, what would you feel? Type into the comments, what would you feel? What feelings would you feel when you reach this goal? What feelings will you feel? You'll feel proud, unstoppable. See, those are the comments I see so far. Let's get everyone in there. Proud, unstoppable. I'd feel peace. I'd feel restful and peace. I'd feel peace. I'd feel fulfilled. Wonderful. Fulfilled is another one. Once again, another one there. On purpose. Wonderful. Satisfied. I'd feel love. Now, what kind of feelings and thoughts would you not have when you reach those goals? Also, I see elated, impactful, completed. I would not feel regret. I would not feel fear. I would not feel stress. I would not feel lack. I would not feel burnout. Wonderful. Now think about those things. If you are feeling right now burnout, does that make you want to work more or less? Makes you want to work less. Does self-doubt make you want to work more or less? Makes you want to work less. You know, if you feel stress, you don't want to keep going. If you feel restricted, you don't want to keep going. If you feel fear, well, man, we don't keep going. If you feel lack, it doesn't motivate us. You think about the things that we say that we feel because we don't have something yet. where the truth is I'll read this list of things that you would feel, and think about how much these feelings would help you to be able to achieve those goals. Let's think about this. Well, if I was feeling proud of myself, wow, that's a motivating thought. If I feel proud of myself, I have all the confidence in the world to move forward. If I feel unstoppable, am I going to be able to do more or less? I'm unstoppable. I can do anything. If I'm feeling peace, wow, it's wonderful to not have that stress, to feel peace, to be able to look at what's in front of me and move forward. How incredible is that? If I feel restful, I don't need to be in a hurry. I'm just going to keep going. If I felt fulfilled, wow, I hear that all the time when people say what they want. They say, I want to be fulfilled. I want to feel fulfillment. Well, guess what? You can feel fulfillment today. You can feel peace today. You can feel on purpose today. You can feel satisfaction today. You can feel love today. You can feel elated today. You can feel impactful. You can feel completed. You can feel whole. You can feel all of those things today. You do not need to reach the goal to feel those things. Because when you are feeling in alignment with the goals that you have, you're going to move towards those even faster. And you will literally, when we talk about the law of attraction, well, let's think about magnets. Two magnets attract to each other. They attract to each other. Well, when we have the wrong magnets, they repel each other. Even when we bring them together, they repel. I love playing with magnets that repel. It's really cool to feel that. When you think about that, the wrong thoughts, the wrong vibrations, they repel each other. Where when it's in alignment, once you get closer, just boom, it goes together. And when you are feeling the feelings that you will achieve, that you think you'll have then, if you start feeling those things now, you're going to go and be attracted towards that. But when you're feeling regret, when you're feeling fear, when you're feeling stress, when you're feeling lack, when you're feeling burnout, when you're feeling fear, when you're feeling restricted, contraction, self-doubt, stress, when you think about all those things that you would feel or that you might be feeling today, well, I can tell you this. When I feel those things, I don't want to work. I want to watch Netflix and eat brownies. That's what I want to do when I'm feeling those feelings. I don't want to move forward. And so let's work on letting go of those feelings and embracing the feelings of success, because it will help you more than anything that you could do, and the doing will become easy. When someone says, I'm burned out, it usually has nothing to do with how busy they are. It has to do with how much energy is going out. When they are burned out, it usually has nothing to do with how busy they are. It has to do with how much energy is going out. And it takes a lot of energy when you are feeling stressed. Why are you so tired when you're feeling stressed? Why are you so tired when you're feeling anxiety? Why are you so tired when you're feeling fear? It's because those feelings and emotions take so much out of us. So the real answer to achieve whatever you want to achieve is to focus on the mindset. Step into where you want to be. Step into where you want to be. Embrace where you want to be and start acting as if. Everyone type into the comments, act as if. Act as if. Let's see, Lindsay says, how about a small brownie? Sometimes success makes me want brownies. Hey, that's okay. You can want brownies as well for success. It can be celebration too. What I mean though is when I'm feeling those feelings, it just want to keep going with them. There's a difference between going out with friends and having a brownie with ice cream and sitting in your bed eating brownies watching Netflix. That's a big difference. You know what I'm talking about there. So everyone, type in act as if. And I want you to think about one thing. If you were acting as if, now we talked about feelings and being attached to the feelings and emotions, but now let's talk about one action. If you were acting as if you already achieved whatever goal you're thinking about right now, what is one thing that you would start doing that you are not currently doing? If you were acting as if, type that into the comments. What is one thing that you would be doing that you're not currently doing if you were acting as if? What is that one thing that you would be doing? what would you be doing? I'd be giving more. I'd keep focusing on the feeling of it. I would order the new flooring. Wonderful. Make a plan. Make that happen. Let's keep seeing. What's that one thing that you would be doing if you're acting as if? What is one thing that you would be doing if you were acting as if? Traveling. I'd give some of my money away. Connection with others. I'd work on my book more consistently. I'd write every day. Wonderful. Let's see a couple more. Let's see a couple more. I'd be taking more risks. Wonderful. That's incredible. Such an important thing. You'd be willing to take more of those risks. I want you to step into that. Now, if someone in there said I'd be giving money away. Well, maybe you're not at the place to give the money away that you want to give away, but you know what? You can give a percentage of what you have right now. It's going to feel great. 10% is 10%. In the Bible, it talks about the widow's mite. You think about that, it doesn't need to be some mighty thing. Just give what we have. Give what we have. Turning down clients that are more trouble than they're worth. Hey, you know what? Start doing that now. Then you'll have more time to get the clients that you want. Don't work with people that you don't want to work with. It's not good for you and it's not good for them. You're not doing them any favors by working with someone that you don't want to work with. You're certainly not doing yourself any favors. And when we take on clients that we do not, that we're not in alignment with, it's not that there's anything wrong with them. There's not a part of your vision. If you are doing that, it is out of scarcity. It is out of the feeling of, I need this. And you don't. You can always get more. It's amazing. You can always get more. Lindsay says it's so draining. It absolutely is when you're working with someone who's not the right fit for you. Now, whatever that is, I want you to step into where you want to be. Step into where you want to be and start acting as if. So thank you so much, everyone, for being here. I hope that this has been beneficial for you. I choose to focus on the good, and I hope that you will too. Everyone, give me a virtual high five. Here we go. Boom. There we go. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. You guys are awesome. Please share this on Facebook. A lot of you guys have, but not quite everyone. So please share this on Facebook, and I will see you guys later. Bye-bye.